What's up, guys? Welcome back. Mr. C's Corner. It is Monday, April 27th, Motivation Monday. Beginning of week 3 of online learning. Thank you to everyone who's been engaged in participating. I read all your discussions, all your responses on the discussion boards, so thank you. Appreciate that. So since today is a Monday, we go over a business current event while listening to an artist or group that motivates us. Today we're listening to Linkin Park. Awesome. Love them. And today we're talking about a current event. It's an extension off of Friday. So on Friday, I talked about how people have been entertaining themselves throughout this whole COVID-19 situation, right? Talk about how people old schoolish kind of way, reading, coming up with a hobby, that kind of stuff, and a newer kind of way, streaming, with Netflix and Hulu. And then I actually talked about the different platforms for video game streaming. That was a little bit new for me because I'm not a video gamer. So I asked myself, prior to this, because video gaming has been around for years, people have been recording themselves playing video games for years. I asked myself, how else did people used to entertain themselves? And then with the weekend happening, I was like, what did people do on Friday and Saturday nights to entertain themselves and have fun? Go to restaurants, yes. What else did they do, though? Hung out with friends? Okay. They would go to the movies. So, got me thinking the movie theater and how are they doing during this whole COVID-19 situation, this whole corona economy. So I looked up movie theaters, and the number one movie theater here in the U.S. is AMC. Actual name is AMC Entertainment Holdings, Inc., and they've been in the news lately. Positive news. So we're going to get there. But before we do, I want you to reflect on the last time you went to the movies. Your first question for today is, when was the last time you went to the movies, and what did you see? What was your experience like? Make sure you put 2 sentences for this question on Schoology. Great, awesome, thank you. So, AMC, a little bit of fun fact about them. They are America's largest movie theater chain. Makes sense. I grew up in a town where there was an AMC 24. That means there were 24 theaters. Oh, wait, 24 theaters. A lot. Big deal. But they are struggling really hard since 100% of their global locations are closed. Not just here in the U.S., but they are a global company. It's making $0 right now. Think about it. We go to the movies to go and actually see a movie. We go and buy products there like popcorn and soda, or pop if you're from the Midwest, soda and pop from them as well. So they are not bringing in any kind of revenue. They're also $4.8 billion in debt. Big deal. And they have furloughed or temporarily laid off all of their employees, including their CEO. So, Mr. C, where's all this good news? All right, I'll spoil it. Its stock surged roughly 30% last week, and that's because, or could be because, there was a $500 million bailout, but it wasn't from the government. Well, who was it from? I'm going to switch this song. There we go. Another classic. Where does this $500 million bailout come from? Think about it. Movie industry is struggling, right? But a lot of different companies rely on the movie theater industry. They are extremely close to bankruptcy, and part of that is because they have been making $0 in revenue for roughly about a month. They were struggling financially before that due to the $4.8 billion in debt they were in, but then they were struggling with that, and now they're struggling because they're not bringing any revenue to pay off that debt. Forget about rent, that debt. So, with all this global locations closed down right now, the stock tumbled 87%, or roughly 90%, this past year, the past 365 days, the past 52 weeks. It plunged 90%. Big deal. Coming into last week. So, but there's some been positive news though. I'm hitting you with all the negative, and here's the positive. President Trump, I think it was last week, issued federal guidance for all the governors of their states and how and when to open their state economies. So there are 3 phases to opening up each individual state's economy. And I'm going to explain what that means to movie theaters. And phase 1 of this 3-phase opening process shockingly includes movie theaters. Think about it. There's roughly 100 people minimum during each movie, all of them crammed into this little room and watching a theater for not just a couple minutes, for a couple hours. So it's kind of funny, but these theaters have to follow these federal guidances, what they say, and there's they have to enforce strict social distancing. Whatever that means. Is it still the 6-foot rule? I don't know. Is it going to be 8 feet, 10 feet? Because you're sitting in a space for an extended period of time. I don't know, but sounds tough. But anyway, phase 2 allows movie theaters to moderate social distancing. Maybe it's a 6-foot rule. Maybe it's 3 feet. I don't know. But that's phase 2. And phase 3 is unrestricted, going back to our normal way of watching movies in a theater. So that was the first good news. The second is that AMC has that $500 million that it didn't get from the government. It didn't get from taxpayer money, not like those airlines. They raised $500 million. Sorry, they raised this $500 million through a private debt offering to help it. Basically, they issued a lot of bonds to a group of select investors. Now, what do I mean by select investors? I don't know. You can make that own determination. But they are offering these bonds. That's how they raised $500 million. AMC now has enough money to last them until Thanksgiving. But why do I bring up that date of Thanksgiving? It's kind of a big deal. Think about it. Every business that's shut down right now has some sort of end date or expiration date. They only have so much money that they can keep their lights on. They can afford to pay rent and their employees until they close down. It's harsh reality. I get it. I feel like I'm being kind of cruel, but it's the truth. Every business that's shut down now has an expiration date or a close down date. But AMC just said they're good until November. Some good news, right? And with this, the economy slowly opening, right, through these 3 different phases that were just announced, it seems like great news is on the up and coming for AMC. Second question, a little bit long, so if you need to pause the video, pause the video. It's also in the comment section. But your second question is, we reflected on our last time that we were at a movie theater, right? We reflected on this experience, what we saw, how it was. Now, I want you to think about your next trip to the movies. I don't care if you don't go to the movies. You'll eventually go to the movies sometime in the next few years. List 3 differences that you think you will see the next time you go to the movies. Whether you go first month it opens, 6 months, in a year, 3 years. Let me know what you think are going to be 3 differences, if any. If there's not going to be any, you have to explain why. So I'll leave you with a couple facts, and then I'll be done. Getting over time. So last week, analysts predicted that movie theaters can reopen in mid-June. It seems like AMC can weather this storm a little bit longer because they said that they can stay open, or they'll be able to be fine with that $500 million up until Thanksgiving. And experts are saying mid-June is going to be the realistic date for movie theaters. So that's good. Which is great news for AMC. There's been a trickle-down effect on the entertainment industry. If you don't know Live Nation, they are a concert entertaining company. Their stock actually rose 6% since the good news about AMC occurred. Disney also jumped 3%. Think about it for Disney. Their parks they have and all the other kind of entertaining things they are associated with Disney. And Garden, the owner of Olive Garden, their stock rose 8%. It seems like encouraging signs that people would be getting together again shortly. So let's end Monday on a great note. Tweet it out. Linkin Park. I'm done talking. See you tomorrow. Post your answers on Squeezy. I'll see you tomorrow.